All right, guys, wanted to do a quick video to just kind of review you for the quiz tomorrow. And I know it's been a while since we covered these topics. So we're solving systems of equations. So first, we kind of want to identify what we're looking at, and that'll give us some idea what our solutions may look like. This first problem is two linear functions, and the slopes are different, so we are going to have a point of intersection. We could solve by substitution, or we could solve by elimination in this problem. Tomorrow on the quiz, you'll be required to do both. So let's take this first equation and solve for y, and we get y equals negative 3x minus 14. And now I want to take that value for y, this value for y right here, and substitute it into the other equation in the place of y, and that'll give me an equation that just has x. So we'll take the second equation, which is 5x plus 2 times y, which we discovered to be negative 3x minus 14, equals negative 21. All right, when we solve this for x, we get 5x minus 6x minus 28 equals negative 21. Solve that. We're going to get x equals negative 7. All right, x equals negative 7. We're looking for a point of intersection, which requires an x value and a y value. Once we find our x value, we can plug that into either of the original equations to solve for y. So y equals negative 3 times negative 7 minus 14. That's going to give us a y value of positive 7. So when x is negative 7, y is positive 7. Now, it always makes sense to take your solution and plug it back into these original equations to make sure that it works, because you could have made a mistake along the way. We're going to save a little time and not do that, but check your equations, your answers, to make sure that the answers work in the original equations. All right. Second one, let's solve this by elimination. And the easiest way to do that in this equation is to eliminate the x's. We can take the second equation and multiply it times 3. And that will give us, the top equation stays the same, 3x minus 3y equals 6. And the second equation is going to be negative 3x plus 6y equals 12. And now we can eliminate the x by adding these two things together. That'll give us 3y equals 18, which means y is equal to 6. Now again, we're not done with this problem because we still have to find the point of intersection for the problem. So let's take the second equation here. We'll take this y equals 6 and plug it into this second equation in the place of y. Negative x plus 2 times 6 equals 4. And we're going to subtract 12 from both sides and get negative x equals negative 8, which means x equals 8. So our intersection point is 8, 6. And again, you could substitute that into your original equations to make sure that you haven't made an error. All right, so next type of problems that we'll have on the quiz tomorrow are this. Now this is a, looks like the top equation is a circle, all right, because x squared and y squared have the same coefficients. And then the second equation is a linear function. So a circle and a line could intersect in 2 points, and or they could not intersect at all, or they could intersect in 1 point if you had a tangent line scenario. When you have a circle and a line, or any type of conic section in a line, the only way to do that problem is going to be by substitution. So if we take the second equation and solve it for x, we get x equals 2y plus 1. Now we want to take that value for x and substitute it into the original equation, the first equation here. Everywhere there's an x, now we're going to put 2y plus 1. So we'll have 2 times 2y plus 1 squared plus 2y squared plus 3 times x, which is, again, 2y plus 1, plus 6y plus 5 equals 0. Okay, so we've made our substitution into the original, the first equation, 2y plus 1 everywhere there was an x. Okay, now we would expand 2y plus 1 is 2y plus 1 times 2y plus 1. That's going to give us 4y squared plus 2y, and 2y is 4y plus 1 plus 2y squared. Distribute the 3, and we get 6y plus 3 plus 6y plus 5 equals 0. Now distribute and combine like terms. This is going to be, I'm going to save a little space here. This is 8y squared plus 8y plus 2. And now we can combine our like terms. 8y squared and 2y squared is 10y squared. 8y, 6y, and 6y gives us 20y. And then, let's see, 2 and 3 and 5 will give us 10. Okay, so we will now, we've got a quadratic equation that we can solve here. First, divide everything by 10 to make things a little easier to work with. That'll be 2y plus 1 equals 0. And so it looks like we are going to only have one solution here. So y plus 1 squared is what that factors as, which tells us our intersection, we only have one intersection point. It occurs when y is equal to -1. Now, just like in the previous examples, we need to take this value and substitute it somewhere to find out the value of x. The easiest place to do that would be right there. X is equal to 2 times y, which is -1, plus 1, that's -2 plus 1, which is -1. So x is -1 when y is -1, so our solution is -1, -1. We only have one point of intersection in this linear system. So incidentally, it's not important to the problem. That means that this line here is actually a tangent line to this circle. All right. So that's an example by substitution. And one final example that you will see on the quiz tomorrow would be one like this. Now, what we're looking at here is a circle and an ellipse, right? The reason we know the top thing is a circle, I'm sorry, not an ellipse, a circle and a hyperbola. So the reason we know the top one is a circle is because x squared and y squared have the same coefficient. And the second one is a hyperbola because the x squared and the y squared coefficients have different signs. And so that's going to give us a circle and a hyperbola. Now, this problem is set up really, really nicely to eliminate. If you notice that you have the y terms in both equations are opposites, so we can take this equation and just add the two equations together and eliminate the y. So if we add these two together, we're going to get 13x squared, 5y squared and -5y squared are gone. -31 and -95 is -126x. Boy, I hope that's divisible by 13. And then the last one is 51 and 57 gives us 108 equals 0. 13x squared minus 126x plus 108. All right, so is 126 is not divisible by 13. Let me check one thing real quick here. Oh, wow, I made a mistake. So you guys probably saw that quicker than I did because it was a bonehead mistake. 13x squared plus 5x squared is 18x squared. So 18x squared minus 126x plus 108 is equal to 0. And let's see. So this would be x squared. I think 126 divided by 18 is 7. And 108 divided by 18 is 6. All right, so that will factor as x plus, no, not plus, x minus 6 times x minus 1 equals 0. So we get two x values, x equals 6 or x equals 1. Now we still have to plug those values into one of our original equations to solve, to see what results. So let's tell you what, I'm going to move this x equals 1 over here. X equals 6, if we use the first equation, because it has a little bit smaller coefficients for x, 5 times x squared plus 5y squared minus 31 times x plus 30y plus 51 equals 0 will give us 5 times 36 is 150 plus 30, 180 plus 5y squared minus 6 times 30 is 180, 186 plus 30y plus 51 equals 0. And that's going to give us 5y squared negative 6 plus, that's 45 plus 30y plus 45 equals 0. And let me double check. So 180 minus 186 is negative 6. Negative 6 plus 51 is 45. So everything's divisible by 5. Y squared plus 6y plus 9 equals 0. So it looks like x equals 6 is only going to give us one y value. This is y plus 3 squared equals 0. So y equals negative 3 when x is 6. So one of our solutions is 6, negative 3. All right, now we have to deal with x equals 1 in the same equation. Let me erase a little of this. So if you need to see anything else, you can pause it here before I erase. I need to make some room. So if x equals 1 and we take the same equation that we just used, 5 times x squared will just be 5 plus 5y squared minus 31x. If x is 1, that's just going to be minus 31 plus 30y plus 51 equals 0. And that is going to give us 5y squared plus 30y. Negative 31 plus 51 is 20. That's going to be plus 25 equals 0. And everything's divisible by 5. Y squared plus 6y plus 5 equals 0 is going to give us y plus 5 times y plus 1 as a factorization equals 0. So x equals 1 gives us two y values. Y equals negative 5, y equals negative 1. So x equals 1 goes with two different y values, and this system has three solutions. So that's what your quiz is going to look like tomorrow. I'll talk to you later. Bye.